Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. We're going to go through a range of bracelets that we make here at Truly Holistic. And so this is going to be really cool. And first of all, I'm going to show you the clasp bracelet type that we have, which is really cool. This is a really light gauge, so it's a 14 gauge wire twisted. And we actually make a full tensor ring, and then we bend it back on itself, right? So you've got a full tensor ring here, and with that light gauge, when you put it on your wrist, it's actually, you can't, a lot of times you don't even know you've got it on your wrist, right? And you can mold it and shape it to the wrist to what suits for you. So very pliable. And we cut this to 2 measurements. You get an option of 2 measurements, which we call cubit measurements, which is part of tensor technology. And what a cubit measurement really means is a measurement that after we twist the wire and then we cut it to a measurement, that's what's going to facilitate and become an anchor of a certain number of energetics that it facilitates through it. So those energetics are going to have a role, a purpose. So essentially the 2 energetics you get in regards to this option of the clasp is the ascension cubit and the Milner cubit. Now, the difference between those is the ascension cubit is the water element, okay, of your consciousness. So it brings through a lot of energy flow, okay, because the water element, when we look at water in nature, it's the physical embodiment of flow. And really, our body relies on flow, energy flow, because when we look at all the systems of the body, right? Let's look at the cardiovascular system in regards to blood. We need that blood moving and flowing, right? Which they call the word viscosity. And so we want that blood flowing because the blood's then carrying oxygen, right? And minerals to, tissue of our body. But also when we look into the lymphatic system, right? The lymph needs to keep moving, right? The importance of that. Nervous system, neuron communicating to neuron, right? And keeping that going. And if there's a hiccup in regards to that, that's quite often what we see as a seizure in people that have seizure activity. Urinary system, digestive system, right? Food going in one end, going out the other. Kidneys creating urine, so urine goes into the bladder and then you can void it out, right? These waste products that are not really supposed to store and stay in the body for too long. So flow is a big thing, and it's very much connected to our ability to how we live our life, which is to go with the flow. And to go with the flow is generally from the heart, that we feel our way and don't overthink things. Thinking becomes obstruction in being able to go or be in the flow. So when we wear this, it just allows you to be in your heart more, allows you to facilitate more of your consciousness, because all the elements such as earth, air, water, fire, ether are all a component of or makeup of your consciousness, right? So you want to bring that through, and that's going to help with your wellness and vitality, but also your intuition, your spirituality path, all of that. Now the other one, which is the Milner has a more specific purpose. It brings through an energetic that enhances physical strength. Okay, so when you wear that, you'll notice that you can do chores around the house and pick up things and they'll feel lighter. Okay, so when I first created this, what I had in my awareness was this was a great product for athletes, or anybody that goes to the gym and does workouts and wanting to lift weights. But, for anybody really that wants greater balance through their body and strength, So we have those 2 different ones in regards to the clasp. So go and check that out. Now, another one that we make is is the AccuVac bracelet. Okay, so this is a little bit different. So we're not using the 14 gauge white, so it's a little bit thicker. This is using 10 gauge wire for the band, and it's not a full tensor ring either. When it's not a full tensor ring, then it's more, the energy's a sliver around the bracelet, but because you've got the bracelet on, it's part of your field, it's going to have an effect on your field anyway. And it's also got an AccuVac coil on here, a coil. So what we really encourage people with this particular product is for people that have carpal tunnel problems, have arthritis in the hands, so they want to gain usage of their hands, their fingers, issues with carpal tunnel going up the arm. So this is one that we really recommend for that particular thing. It's also got the Ascension Cubit here, which is the band, and we've got also the Gateway Cubit, which is the air element. So you've got water and air element components that make up the Accuvac coil. So you've got those two so far. Now, next one is a 10 gauge bracelet. Now, this is generally for the Milner Cubit, right, which I was talking about before, which you get an option also in that variety of it, the Leica gauge, 14 gauge clasp bracelet, which is, as I say, a full ring that's been bent back on itself. So you can see it's a full ring, but we bend it back on itself. But this one's a thicker gauge, a 10 gauge, and we also flatten it as well. So it's got that flattened look to it. This is actually a bracelet that I wear. I've always got it on because when you look at what that enhances, right, that ability to have more of a physical presence, right, physical strength, it's benefits you every day, right? You're lifting things, you're carrying things, and it's just, if you would, a lot of people could perceive that as a superhuman strength or a superhuman ability. Why wouldn't you wear that, right? So we make it in that, but we also can make it in a double twisted variety too, this is the same measurement, gives off the same energetic, but it just, different varieties, right? We've got the single twist and we've got the double twist. Now, what we've found with the double twist compared to the single twist, the double twist has a little bit more of a chaotic ability to provide that energetic because it's providing more toroids in regards to the double twist nature of it. And but essentially, at the end of the day, it's providing the same energetic, which is that Milner Cubit, which enhances balance and strength. So we've got those there. We've got the Accuvac coil bracelet with the band, and we've got the 14 gauge clasp. So we've got these 4 different types of bracelets that you can get. Now, let's say this is generally for adults, but let's say you had a younger child that smaller wrist, and you're inquiring in regards to them, would most likely use a different energetic for them, right? Because those energetics are based on their cubit measure, which is a measurement. We can't alter and change that. But we do have a number of different other cubits that we can use that are a little bit shorter, that would be better for a smaller wrist for a child, for example. So we also can make a full tensor ring that can be worn, put over the hand and put on the wrist as well. So we can always do that and cater for that. The Ascension Cubit, which I've just talked about, and its full tensor ring is actually quite good for a young child's wrist. So that goes over the hand, goes to the wrist. Of course, it's too small for an adult. So we can play around and find out what works. We're always very open to custom orders or ideas that the client may have in regards to what they would like to be incorporated in that bracelet. So if you want to go and check those out, go to trulyholistic.net/products/ to go and check out the product range of bracelets there. Otherwise, I've got a contacts page on my website, trulyholistic.net/contacts/ go there, and if there's something that you would like changed or customized to you, you can email me through that contact link and we can get it done for you. Till next time, catch you later.